Let's talk about shaping and transforming objects. There are several tools that you can use inside of Corel Draw 12 to create objects or to create the shape that you're looking for, and there's a couple of new features that I'm going to show you here as well. Let's start with the compass points and the blue circle that we have. Place that back on top. If I select both of these objects together, I have a new option that appears in the property bar, one of them being trim. Select trim, and after a moment you can see that it cut one object out of the other. So now I have a negative impression of the compass points. That's one way to create a new, very complex object that you're looking for without having to do a lot of work in shaping it using the shape tool. You can do the same thing down here. If you look at the green rectangle and the yellow squiggle that I made, I'll just move that over top, and I'll select both of those objects and say trim. And you see that the green rectangle now has been cut to match the contour of this yellow squiggle that I made. So again, I've made a very interesting shape very quickly. Over here, we have three common-looking objects, a couple of ovals and a rectangle. If I want to make a shape, say a Q-tip in this case, this is what my intention was, I can spend a lot of time drawing it, take my shape tool and expand out the tips, or I can take three very simple shapes, lay them out over one another. Let's select them all. I'll shift select these two. So now with these three selected, I'm going to go up and choose Weld, and it creates one shape out of many. And this is a single closed shape, so I can fill it with any color that I wish. That's welding. And over here, the last of the three that I want to show you is the intersecting. If I have a number of objects and I want to create a new object from the area that they share, which, believe it or not, is something that you'll do quite often when you get into serious illustrating. If I click on the star, and I'll click on the two triangles behind the star, which I've combined into a bow tie type shape, and I'll choose intersect. And when I do that, you'll see it creates a brand new shape out of any area that was overlapping. Let me just bring that out. So these are the overlapping areas between that bow tie shape and the star. And now, of course, I can give it a new color, put it back into place, and there I've created a pseudo shadow for that. Some of the other tools that you're going to have at your disposal, in the shape tool flyout, we have the knife tool, and I'm just going to use the pick tool to select this green rectangle. And I'll go back to the knife tool, and I can edit, and I'll find that edge. There we are. Click, and I'll drag over to another edge. And what it's done is it's cut the remnants of that rectangle we had into two objects now. These are two brand new objects. So in a very organic kind of way, I've cut that. Or I can make a straight cut. Click, and just move my mouse over. I'm not dragging. Click, and I'll use my selection tool. There we go, and I have three objects. The last thing is very exciting. It's a brand new tool. And I'm going to select all three of these objects, and I'm going to eliminate their fills. I'll select no fill, and I'll right-click on black outlines. There we go. And let me place them overlapping one another. This is something that's brand new to Corel Draw 12. It's an excellent tool. It's found here in the Shape Tool flyout. We have the Virtual Segment Delete. When I use the Virtual Segment Delete, it's looking for line segments that I can cut out. Let me just click here. You'll notice it's found the boundaries, and it's cut out that line segment in a very intelligent way. This is a miracle tool. What a wonderful thing. I wish I had had this 5 years ago. I'll remove some of these line segments so you can create an appropriate looking overlap. There we are. And you can really make these shapes look like one sitting over top of another, but I haven't actually change the stacking order or anything. I've just changed the way the shapes interact with one another. And look at that. I've removed segments of my objects without affecting the entire object itself. And there's certainly more that could be said about transforming objects, but this is a topic that you'll definitely enjoy when you get the advanced title.